This is a pre-video warning that this video contains very graphic images of deceased animals. For purposes of this video, I've kept the images in, but tried to keep them to a minimum. Thank you all for understanding, and I hope you enjoy the video. Alright everyone, how are we all doing? Hope you're all isolating well from this bad cough that's going around. Today, we're going to go through some big cat evidence from Jonathan Mcgowan. Now, you may have seen in my latest big cat video that I actually called out on a few people to come on my channel, show us their evidence on big cats in the UK. And well, I can safely say, not a single one got in touch. Not a single one. Now I'm going to persist with it because I want at least one of them to come on the channel and discuss their evidence, their findings, and the possibility of big cats being in the UK. But the big problem is this coronavirus, and they've got a massively easy excuse to get out of coming onto my channel, which I completely understand, although technology nowadays, we can video call. So if that is what it's going to take, then I'm open. Give me a Skype chat, email me, get in touch. However though, fortunately for us, shortly after that video that I posted, this video was posted. The boys at Grizzly, shout out the boys, they posted a video from their chat with Jonathan Mcgowan titled Big Cat Evidence. Obviously that was exciting for me, and I mean, yeah, it's not on my channel and it's not me conducting the interview, which is probably a good thing actually, coming to think of it, because I'd be sat in a verbal war with this fella over the reasons why he hasn't taken pictures of big cats when he's seen them multiple times. Anyway, the video is posted, so I took the time to sit down, watch it, and let it sink in. So this video that you're watching right now with me is going to be a reaction to the video that Grizzly did with Jonathan Mcgowan and him talking about his big cat evidence. As you're all probably aware by now, I'm impartial on this topic. I'm somewhat skeptical of this being a thing, but I'm open to the fact that I could see things, I could hear things from different people, and I won't just dismiss it straight away. I'm interested to see what you guys in the comments think, so as I go along, join in and comment your thoughts. Also, before we actually get started, I'm on Twitter and Instagram under Cookie6994. Go follow me over there where you can keep updated on what I'm doing with videos and big cat stuff, as well as on Instagram, you see beautiful pictures of this. With that said, shall we get stuck in?
So this is a Seeker hind that I found. This is near Bovington, where I know the leopards were active.
So I'm just going to jump straight in here. This is the first thing he's showing, and he's already said, and I quote, I know the leopards were active. Were active. One, that is implying that there are leopards in the first place. Two, he's not just saying one leopard, he's saying multiple leopards. Three, he's used past tense, saying were. So does that mean they're not there anymore?
The head itself was like this, typically being licked up by the big cat's tongue, and when the head was turned over, one can actually see all the trauma around the muzzle where the cat had bitten onto it to suffocate it.
Okay, this time he said licked up by the big cat's tongue. Is it a leopard? Or is he just guessing now? For me, on this, if he was dead certain it was a leopard, he wouldn't change his dialogue to the big cat's tongue. He would continue to say leopard. You wouldn't change your dialogue if you were certain. Now, tell me if this sounds right. Yeah, mate, the lion absolutely ripped it apart. You can see on the deer where the big cat licked it with its tongue. Doesn't sound right, does it? Also, when he's showing the trauma, as he calls it, I don't know what I'm looking at. I can't see where this supposed big cat has clamped onto this muzzle. Or is that just me? I don't know. You guys in the comments though, can you see something on the muzzle that I can't see? Am I missing something? Anyway, for this next one, he's showing another carcass and he's using terminology that would imply he knew 100% what happened to this animal. But that's not what caught my attention about this one, because as I said in the first one, he's only implying. He doesn't know for certain. He's talking like he does, but he doesn't.
And the cat actually removed the rumen, that's the big intestine with all the food in it, as they often do, and it buried it under a bush that was 3 meters away. So this is interesting, but interestingly enough, we got DNA off it, but there was no DNA of big cats, but interestingly, other animals.
I mean, this one just speaks for itself, doesn't it really, Jonathan? There was no DNA of big cats, but there were of other animals. So it wasn't a big cat then, was it? Mike, who's conducting this interview from Grizzly, jumps in here to ask the question we want the answer to, while Jonathan casually just tries to go about looking for his scrapbook of dead animals again.
Another thing that I regularly find...
Oh, sorry, why do you think there was no DNA on that one?
Well, it was a bit of a scandal.
It was a scandal, was it? Listen to this next bit though, and tell me how ridiculous this sounds.
What happened was the university who was doing the DNA tests come back and they said, oh, we've got Burmese python and otter. How strange, do they live in the New Forest eating deer? And I said, well, it definitely shows how vigorous the DNA testing is in picking up contaminants, because it picked up the contaminants on a pair of scissors that I had used in my taxidermy purpose to cut open the body of a Burmese python, and then later I used those scissors to cut open an otter. So if it can pick up contaminants like that, well, why on earth didn't they pick up the contaminants in the very least of the animal that was responsible for eating this animal? I really do not know why.
Why didn't it pick up the animal that was responsible for eating this animal? Because it wasn't a big cat, was it, Jonathan? It was fox and dog, as you'd expect. He carries on to say, there's a conspiracy to hide the truth.
But it's one of the commonplace things that happen with these DNA testing. They all come back negative. Even if you send a real leopard poo, it will come back as dog or fox, because there really is a conspiracy to hide the truth.
He's not doing himself any favours here, is he? You know, I said at the start, I'm impartial to this. I still am. It's just with 3.5 minutes into a 10-minute video, and he hasn't said a single thing that I can agree with. And at the rate that we're going, it's not looking hopeful that he's going to either.
This is another example of an animal that was killed by either a leopard or a puma. This is a roebuck. You can see by its tongue hanging out and its bulging eyes that it died of asphyxiation. And again, it has the same trauma on the muzzle where an animal had clamped it over the nose to suffocate it.
He also says here again, there's trauma on the muzzle where an animal has clamped it to suffocate it. Again, I can't see what he's looking at here. Is it me? Like, comment section again. Am I missing something? Like, yeah, fair enough. I'm not disputing that leopards will go for the muzzle or the throat when they're trying to kill something. I just can't see any damage on these pictures. Is it just me? Picking up something else Jonathan said, though, was this.
I find many kills where they do have the classic holes in the throat or the back of the neck.
So, with this, yeah, I can sit here and be like, well, show us then. I don't know if he has them or not. Now, for me, neck holes would be more of a sign of a big cat rather than muzzle damage that I can't see. Watching Jonathan speak though doesn't exactly fill me with confidence. So when he says he's seen lots of the classic neck hole kills, he probably doesn't have the evidence to back it up. Even if he did, the fact that I'm thinking so negatively about this bloke is a sign in itself that I think he just waffles rubbish. You'll get more of an idea of what I mean throughout the rest of this video, but let's show you here. Mike jumps in again and asks how this carcass would look different if it died of natural causes and other animals came to eat it. So let's just say a deer's eating some grass, it gets a twig stuck in his throat. Oh no, it's choking, it's dead. Badgers and foxes are bound to find this lying about and they're going to eat it. Same with birds. Now, how would that look straight up different to a leopard kill? That is the question. Here is the answer.
So how would that carcass look different if a deer had died of natural causes and it had just been eaten by badgers, foxes, buzzards, things like that?
I've done a lot of research in this. A lot of it comes from the fact that I've used trail cameras over my kills. I've actually baited areas with deer kills in front of trail cameras, and over the years one can see the methods in which these animals eat, especially the scavengers such as ravens, magpies, crows, foxes, even otters sometimes come up and eat from the carcasses, and stoats and things like that. So we get a good idea in how those animals eat. We also have a good idea of how dogs often kill prey and how they kill them. And if this had been killed and eaten by a dog, well, firstly, they wouldn't have the muzzle trauma. It wouldn't be asphyxiated. It would have more trauma at the rear end, although the rear end is gone, so we cannot actually see that. But dogs are very messy. They play around. They don't kill the animal a lot of the time. And they're not eaters. They're not neat when they're eating. They mess it apart, they pull it around, and it travels over a large distance before it's even dead a lot of the time. In this case, it's all very neat. It's happened in one place. The animal, if it was one animal, it could have been a mother and cub, for example, that have eaten this. It's all very neat. It's not all pulled around. It's very meticulous, as if the cat knew what it was doing. and that's what makes it so different to a typical dog kill, for example.
He doesn't even answer the question. He chats pure waffle for a bit and that's it. Does he even know what it would look like if it died and badgers and foxes ate it at all? I mean, I'd like to think he would if he's been in this game for a long time and studied it as much as he claims. Now, I'm going to put that down to he didn't listen to the question properly. Because honestly, if he did hear the question properly and he chose to ignore it on purpose, I would have absolutely no respect for his claims whatsoever.
Being a taxidermist and I eat roadkill.
Okay, Jonathan. You do you, mate. You do you.
And I just happened to come across the body of an animal. This is the animal I found, and I had somebody else in the car at the time, and we stopped and we said, crikey, what on earth is that? That huge dead animal, it must be a dog. So we stopped the car in front of it, and as soon as we did, there was a horde of cyclists that come along. And they were all shouting, cool, look, there's a dead lion. And they all stopped in front of it. And at that point, I got out the car. Unfortunately, my camera that I had only had a long telephoto lens. I couldn't really take any close-ups. And also, there was tanks moving along the road.
This just sounds like the biggest load of bollocks ever. If this was a tweet, I would send it into the Didn't Happen of the Year awards. It's got everything in it. Fella who eats roadkill, horde of cyclists, can't believe there's a dead lion in the road, tanks driving by. Tanks. Long zoomed lens that can only get one photo. How much crap can he put into one story? I'm sorry, but nothing will ever convince me of this story at all. It's pretty grim, but it doesn't look like a cat. The fur is all wrong to begin with. The line on the road, if it measures the same as what I measure mine outside my house at, 10 centimetres.
Oh, that's really...
Then this animal is small. Probably the size of a domestic house cat or a small to medium dog. But hear what Jonathan has to say about it.
This line here is actually a military line, and it's actually 17 centimetres wide. So that should give you an idea of just how large the animal was.
Just shut up, man. You're full of crap.
It was about 9 feet in length. Its tail was 4 foot long and really thin. It had a huge torso.
He's suggesting it was 9 feet long with a 4-foot tail. Now I know this thing is squished, but even so, you can tell it's not going to be 9 foot long. That whole story has made me want to throw my chair. It's just rubbish and completely and utterly convenient for him, isn't it? Yeah, I've seen a big cat dead in the road. Didn't have the right lens, took one photo and the big army tanks took it away in the 2 hours I left it behind and left no trace whatsoever. Ah, shut up, man. You're talking bollocks. That, though, is where the Grizzly video concludes. Props to the Grizzly boys, though. They're putting in the work to get these interviews, and as you can hear, they're asking the questions too. I've got no problem with what Grizzly are doing at all. They're good videos to watch. And on that note, if you want to watch this full interview with Jonathan McGowan, it's a 10-minute video. We haven't covered every single thing he said in this, but if you want to watch it for yourself, then the link is in the description down below, or probably in this corner somewhere. 99% of what was said in this video, though, from Jonathan's perspective, was complete waffle. Just complete nonsense, mate. Nonsense. How is this guy one of the leading people in this field? What evidence has he shown us there? Nothing that I would call hard evidence at all. Nothing to even make me question it. He's literally offered nothing. Again, as far as the interview is concerned, it's a great job by the Grizzly boys, but come on now. This has got to stop. It's sensationalism of a subject that people care about and want answers to. My offer goes out to Jonathan again, though. Come on my channel, show me some hard evidence and stop talking absolute waffle about this subject. It's proper boring and it doesn't help anything at all. People watching this, people in the comment section right now, are you okay with this? Are you happy with this? Was that good evidence for you? Are you happy with what he's put forward as evidence? And are you happy with this guy who's been one of the leading figures in this subject? I tell you where I stand, and right now, no, mate. How? Just how? How? Now, just like in my other video, I'm going to ask you again, send this video to Jonathan. Raise the alarm, because we want to see the evidence. And if he's got nothing better than what we've just seen here, then forget it. I'm impartial, but in a 10-minute video, I've seen nothing to get on board with at all. Right, anyway, let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Don't forget, send this video to Jonathan. Let's get him on the channel. Let's get him to prove some evidence. Let's get him to actually make us believe this thing is real. We want answers. Also, while you're at it, don't forget to follow my Twitter and my Instagram. You can see updates of big cat stuff going on over there, beautiful pictures of my face over on Instagram, and obviously other things going on in my life like live streams, and that's it. Anyway guys, I've been Cookie, Jonathan has been a Craig, and I will see you in the next one, alright? Don't waffle like this guy.
Oh, that's really... It's been doing on your mouth.